We really appreciate it. We will be recording tonight so we can share with those folks who aren't able to tune in with us. So let's get going. We are so happy that you are here. As you saw in the invite, this is actually our 6th annual town hall. We are so excited to continue this tradition of sharing and celebrating our past year's successes. We also have loved keeping it virtual because it allows folks from all over the state and from all over our service regions to tune in. So thank you so much. Again, tune in whatever way is comfortable for you, whether that's cameras on or cameras off. Yeah, you're going to get to have a chance to hear directly from our program team about our program results from last year, hear some of the great stories that came out of our programs. You'll get to hear from leadership about, really like behind the scenes financials, what we have got coming up for our organization, and some really, really fun program updates regarding our conference, which is coming back after a 4-year hiatus due to COVID. We are so, so excited. As well, we always have raffles for our town hall, so stay tuned in until the end, or we'll be giving away 2 raffle prizes. We'll be giving away a Girls Empowerment Network t-shirt, a fall scented candle, and a skincare product provided by Obvious Skincare. So make sure you tune in so you can get your very own Girls Empowerment Network shirt and some self-care items. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off, and I'm going to hand it to our first presenter, which is Adrienne Torres. Adrienne is a Central Texas program manager, and she is going to lead us through some of those program report outs I was talking about.
Cool. Thank you, Chelsea. As she mentioned, my name is Adrienne Torres, and I've been with the agency for 4 years now, and it's quite an honor to represent our program department. I know we had an icebreaker already, but we're going to have another icebreaker, and I just know a lot of you have been with Girls Empowerment Network for a while, so I have a sense you're used to this, so thank you for indulging us in another icebreaker. And for this one, I would love to take us down memory lane. And if it feels comfortable to you all, I'd love for you to share your answer in the chat box. So here's a question. What is one word you would use to describe your school age self? What is one word you would use to describe your school age self? And when you have your answer, please share it in the chat, and I'm gonna open it and take a look. I'll post the question too, just in case. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all are speedy. Thank you. Okay, let's take a look. We have curious, unsure, uncertain, talkative. Another, I see some more talkatives, perplexed. Wow. Nerdy, apprehensive, awkward. Yes. Self-conscious. I'm seeing some themes. I'm seeing some similarities. Lost, unsure, perpetually nervous. Thank you. Social. Thank you all for sharing. As I mentioned, I'm definitely seeing some similarities amongst our answers, and I want you to, if you're able to, keep that close by, because we're going to revisit that in just a second. And I'd love for us to kick off with some celebratory news now. Okay, here we go. Big news. This year we continued our program, Girl Connect, and this is essentially our flagship program that we have in schools. And here we go. We served a total of 1,857 girls. I'm just assuming like the confetti is falling. I know we're like jumping for joy right now. This is a huge number, and we're so excited to share this with you all. And Girl Connect is such a special program because it allows us to really build a relationship with a group of girls over the course of an entire semester through weekly programming. So we get to revisit those schools and have a really strong bond by the time that the semester is over. And one thing that we just talked about, and that it is so awesome. Yes, thank you. I love to see the chat popping off. It really is such a success and such an honor, and something that we're so proud to share with everybody here. And just kind of coming back to what we discussed in that chat box and that question that I asked, and we like to ask that question because I think for some of our youth, like those feelings that we shared is something that they might still be experiencing. And knowing that we've been able to serve this many girls through Girl Connect, where girls can bond over shared feelings and experiences just in the way that we did, it's so special for us. So I just want to celebrate that and just think about that of like those moments are so special when we get to really have some community and have a bonding experience over the way that we feel. And then really get to think about like what skills can we build through the time that we spend together. So that's a little bit about our Girl Connect. And again, 1,857 girls served. What's next for us? This one I'm very excited to talk about. This is our Spark Change project. We were able to launch our third cohort with the Excellent and Advancement Foundation. This is a collaborative project. I also have the very huge honor of being a co-lead on this project. So this project really centers girls of color as leaders in advocacy, and ultimately we're engaging in positive social change. And as you can see from here, we hired actually 4 new peer facilitators, and these are high school aged girls, and they get to join our team for months. And through the project, we were able to serve 76 girls. And the way that we're able to serve girls is through a couple of programs, one called Spark Change Day, which is an all-day event. And this year we're able to have it at the Capitol, which brings a lot of fun energy. And we were able to have a ton of really awesome advocates and political representatives there with us. And then the other way would be other program that we have is called Spark Change Camp. And that was a really cool, we were able to actually have a new version this year, which was like a mini camp. And I think we were able to have an experience back in person. So that made it extra special. And it was just nice to bring back a camp where you get to spend some really quality time. And by the end of it, you feel like you really made some friends. And I know that that's one thing that our participants shared, is just how special it was to spend that amount of time together. I also want to share a little bit about what our peer facilitators were able to do at the Capitol, which is testify about multiple bills. One of them is called SB 133 Senate Bill, also known as No Kids in Cuffs. And this bill, which prohibits physical and chemical restraints on students under 10 years of age. So they were able to testify in support of. Next is SB 379 Senate Bill, which eliminates taxes on menstrual products and diapers in Texas. So eliminating that tax and eliminating that barrier for families. And the last one I want to share is House Bill 567, also known as the Crown Act, which now prohibits discrimination based on hair texture of protective hairstyles in Texas. Ooh, that I'm just so excited to share that with you all. I also want to point out that this top right photo is actually of one of our peer facilitators named Kyra. And Kyra is with a senator who actually sponsored the Crown Act. So it was a real huge and monumental moment. And I also want to shout out Anna O'Quinn, who really helped place these relationships and worked so hard for our girls to have this opportunity. One thing that they all left this experience with is just feeling so excited and so inspired by actually spending time in the Capitol. And one thing they talked about is how it can feel so disconnecting and how it can feel like creating change can be so far away. And by spending time in the Capitol, they were able to realize how much power they really had and how much abilities that they have as change makers. So I wanted to really share that and share how impactful it was for them to understand that they're just as important as every adult that's in that space. All right, let's keep it moving. Amazing. Thank you very much. So what else do we do? So we talked about our Girl Connect programming, we talked about our Spark Change project, and now we get to mention how awesome our workshop and assemblies were this year. So 2,722 girls served. Our workshops and assemblies are an opportunity to still serve schools, but we get to go in and hang out with students in a larger number. So whereas some of our groups might be smaller, 20 girls, you can think of a workshop as 50 to hundreds of students at a time. So high impact and a really high energy and fun time. Other ways we serve girls were through our summer camps, 148 girls served there, such a fun time. The next one is our We Are Girls Manor, which is like a mini version of our conference that you'll hear more about later. And that was such a fun experience to come back in person and to partner with Manor ISD. I know I personally had such a wonderful time watching all of our students reconnect with one another, spend time together, visit with other adults in the community, and I just spark a lot of inspiration there. So that's about our workshops and assemblies, some really fun times. Thank you. Okay, what else were we able to do? Well, we were also able to spend time with adults. We served 293 adults through our parent and teacher workshops. And this is an opportunity where we get to offer continuing education for these adults. And I think it is such a cool way for us to promote the services that we offer to youth, to the adults in their lives. And, what a better way to continue to empower youth than by getting the adults in their lives involved in the conversations that are concerning them. So again, we were able to serve 293 adults through our parent and teacher workshops. Thank you. Okay, great. So this one's huge. Across the past 4 years of data, our programs resulted in significant increases in girls' self-efficacy across all 6 Cs. Let me say that differently. So in total, we served 4,889 girls, the most youth we have ever served before. And across data from 2019 to 2023, this year, our program participants had significant increases in self-efficacy, collaboration, communication, confidence, coping skills, creativity, and critical thinking, also bonding and positive identity. So what we're saying here is that all the 6 Cs that we measure, we saw significant increases, and we also had significant increases in peer bonding and positive identity. I'm going to check the chat because I see it's going up. Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of everything that the program team was able to do, but also our whole organization. And this is, I think, really huge news and something that we're incredibly proud of. And I also would love to show you all a visual representation of what this looks like. So here we go. And what you'll see at the bottom, on the bottom left-hand side is like that pre-survey data. So you can see so here's our starting level. Here's where we start of before services with Girl Connect, a Girls Empowerment Network. And then on the right-hand side, you see post-survey. So after the services with Girl Connect. So again, program participants had significant increases in overall self-efficacy, our 6 Cs, and peer bonding. And here's that visual representation. Yay! I just want to take a pause to just celebrate all of the amazing work that we were able to do. Well, thank you so much for giving me a chance to share about the program department and everything that we've been up to. And I would love to hand it off to the Mobilizing Communities team and really talk about everything that was able to happen but who and how we were able to do all this. So I'm going to pass it to Amy Kane now.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. Well, before I dive into the Mobilizing Communities world, I'm gonna just have to do more celebration for Adrienne and the rest of the program department. Please drop all the emojis, drop all of the praise. They truly deserve it. I was getting chills as I was listening to that information, and I've heard it before. So it is just that it's just that important and makes me so proud. So once again, I'm Amy. I have the pleasure of serving as the agency's deputy director, and I get to oversee our Mobilizing Communities department. And I want to send another shout out to the program team for producing those outcome results, and also Sarah, our director of impact, who's actually in DC right now, who carefully analyzed that data and allows us to see the difference by overseeing that surveying process. So as always, Girls Empowerment Network knows that we would not be able to reach any of those incredible achievements that you just heard about without our supporters of all kinds, which includes all of you in this room today. We are very, very happy to have a network of individuals who continuously donate their time, talent, treasure, testimony, ties toward our mission. So thank you. That begins with our volunteers. We all know that empowering the next generation of leaders takes a village, and our community of volunteers are critical to this work. So thanks to everyone listening in who served in various volunteer roles over the past year, and a shout out to our community engagement staff, Brittany and Kaylee, and the rest of the team for mobilizing so many community members to engage in our work. And that is whether it's on the front lines with girls participating in things like power chats, or serving in those weekly groups at schools, or whether it's behind the scenes, helping with mailings, data entry, and crafting things like inspirational bracelets and bookmarks. We see you, we appreciate you. And as you can see, our network showed up with over 8,000 hours of in-kind volunteer labor donated toward our mission. It blows me away every year to get a chance to see how generous and engaged our volunteers are. And we also, next slide, have been engaging with a lot of corporate partnerships lately. So these volunteers not only help with projects, but they also are able to go through engaging presentations that our community engagement department leads on topics relevant to our mission that are adapted from the curriculum we use with girls. So you can see those examples right there. If you've ever participated in one of Brittany or Kaylee's presentations, you know how engaging and powerful their facilitation is. And if you work with a company who would like to host us for one of those projects, please don't hesitate to reach out to Brittany at girlsempowermentnetwork.org, or literally any other staff person that you know, and we'll get you linked in. So we're really grateful for that corporate engagement and for Brittany and Kaylee's work supporting it as well. All right, so next slide. We are going to go into some updates about our fundraising and our financial state. That has been one of the roles that I play at the town hall every year, and this year is no different. So these figures that you see right now are for the fiscal year that just ended on August 31st, and they are not yet audited. Of course, that process takes a little time, so we'll get that done soon, but as you can see here, we experienced challenges in reaching our planned revenue targets this year, but yet the year did end in a place that is relatively strong and stable. I want to say, though, there is no way around it. The past year has been tough sector-wide when it comes to fundraising. Charitable giving is down due to economic uncertainty in particular, and fears of the recession looming was very high in the spring in particular. Many of our sponsors have let us know that they love what we do, but they're under spending freezes, and so we've had to wait a little bit longer for some gifts than we usually would. We've heard from our nonprofit peers that they're experiencing the same thing, and we've learned in data trends, like the most recent Giving USA report that was released this summer, that this hardship is very much not unique to Girls Empowerment Network. And the result was that we hit a tough financial position this spring and summer. In order to protect the mission and the organization long term, we had to go through a complete spending freeze, and we ended up having to go complete a very difficult process of laying off some of our beloved colleagues and contracting our agency size. This was extremely challenging for all, no one more than the folks that we had to say goodbye to, and it was something that we've never experienced as an agency before. As always, we kept our compassionate agency culture at the forefront, and we sought to do anything that we could do to assist our laid off staff through this experience. We offered them ways of getting generous severance pay, help finding a new job. We gave training with interviews and resumes, and we offered letters of support to the hiring managers they sought new positions with. Let's not mince words. Our hearts have been extra heavy because of this, but thankfully we have been healing as a team again this fall, and we're refocusing on our critical work with girls ahead of us, which remains intact due to making this difficult but necessary decision. So while all of our fundraising setbacks, if you'll actually go, I'm just going to keep on the one fundraising slide for the moment. Well, not all of our fundraising setbacks this year were specific to us. I do want to share a story with y'all that was a financial challenge that was extremely specific to Girls Empowerment Network. We see the folks who tune into our town hall as our closest network, and so I just wanted to share a little bit more insights with you. At the beginning of this fiscal year, we got news of a very shocking defunding. A corporate funder that we had been working with closely since 2021 had offered us a new invite-only opportunity to apply for a much larger 2-year, $500,000 grant. And we learned they defunded us because of our progressive agency values and our stance on advocating for girls' bodily autonomy and welcoming trans and non-binary youth into our services, no questions asked. We have known, as we have grown more bold in the policy space and platforming girls' voices, like you heard Adrienne speak to through initiatives like the Spark Change Project, that when they advocate for issues that are important to them and therefore important to us, that we are challenging traditional power structures. That comes with inherent risks. But we have felt uncompromising about the things that we know will best serve the most marginalized youth among our network. After this defunding, I have to admit, I felt like I had been a little bit misled. We had been invited by this partner to pursue a new funding opportunity, so we humbly asked for some insights into what had happened. From our perspective, we had poured everything into the relationship that we could. We led trainings, we participated in their marketing campaigns, we partnered closely with so many of their employees, and what I kept hearing back was glowing things about our work. To be defunded so suddenly was upsetting, but it was even more upsetting to learn what exactly happened and that our contacts at this company were equally shocked by the results. I was welcomed into a story where they shared with me that our supportive female community engagement staff that were representatives of that company had the decision made above their head by one single powerful man within their corporate structure who found our agency's website and social media presence to be too radical. And he blocked the funds that had been earmarked for us by those women specifically from making their way to us. It's a lot. It was a really difficult thing to understand. And sadly, this story illustrates exactly why we have to remain undaunted in our mission and unflinching in knowing our values and our purpose. All too often, still in 2023, I have come to understand that patriarchy and misogyny are hurting women and girls as much as they ever have, and other people of diverse genders as well. It was heartbreaking to think about this financial loss, which we had worked all year, which we did work all year to overcome, that it would have provided us with the funds that are roughly equivalent to over 12,000 hours of programming with girls in Texas. But if we couldn't deliver those hours of service in the way that we know would actually best empower youth, we wouldn't do it. And so the separation that we had from this company, as painful as it was, is not something that we regret. But now I'm ready for the next slide. Every setback that an organization has usually has good news that follows behind it. And there was major good news that came for us in this process after something so upsetting. Our values aligned network really showed up for us. And so many of you are in this room, and I have to thank you deeply for doing so. The measures that we took to protect the organization's long-term sustainability were necessary, and they were successful toward that goal. I can say that we've already seen a turning corner from the summer. Our fundraising team began really working on closing the gap that the large funding losses caused us. And so many of you ensured that you dug deep to provide more support than ever before. So a huge shout out and thank you to all 2,215 unique sources of financial support who showed up for us. And an extra special thank you to those supporters who donated over $10,000 that are listed right here, including all of you members of the Girl Advocacy League who worked together in collective action. I also want to shout out our development director, Chelsea, and our CEO, Julia, who worked so hard in ensuring that we would really achieve financial stability again, and we are getting there. Next slide. So our network also includes so many strategic community partners who collaborated with us and also showed up to deliver services and help us administer our mission. We would not be anywhere where we are without these partners. And so I want to offer a huge thank you to these other organizations that also help us administer our mission. Next slide. So as mentioned, related to our agency size, we did have to contract this past summer, and our board and staff leadership have recommended and approved this new agency budget that you see for 23-24, that's smaller than last year's growth trajectory size, but that it is at a level that we have a 5-year track record of producing sustainable funding around this size. So we're going to maintain diverse sources of funding outlined here, and we will achieve full financial stability so that we are very soon back on a lovely growth trajectory again to reach many more girls in the state of Texas. Next slide. So here are the corresponding expenses for the year. I'm sorry that it ended up a little pixelated, but as you will be familiar with Girls Empowerment Network overall, we're usually about between 80 and 90% are people, the services, the folks that bring those things to life for girls, and that is once again true. And I'm very proud to share that this level of funding will allow us to impact approximately 5,000 girls and allies statewide this year. This budget also has allowed us to invest more in our current remaining staff so that they can support themselves during times of rising cost of living, and that we retain their excellent skills, knowledge, and expertise towards our mission as long as possible. The next slide. So the last thing that I get to speak to is that we have big agency updates coming. Some of them are currently underway and some of them are just around the corner with more news on the horizon. But this does include our rebrand toward Radiant G. That is our new conference name, and you're going to see that name showing up with our curriculum, our in-school programs. We are so excited to tell you more about what Radiant G is. We are also developing a 7th C. So Adrian spoke so well to the 6 C's we currently measure. We completed a project this year to work on our theory of change, and we said change making for girls is our 7th C. We are not going to back down from challenging systems and speaking truth to power. And so we're going to be rolling out new curriculum, new activities, new everything to focus on our change making C. We're just going to be keeping the best rabble rousers in town, basically. We also are working on a strategic expansion of our pilot programming for the juvenile justice system involved girls. We have a new lead on our staff named Angela, who has been making major waves and working with girls who are juvenile justice system involved or who are incarcerated to make sure that every girl in the state of Texas knows that we are here for her and what her unique needs may be. We also have the return of our conferences. The first one is going to be coming up in less than a month on November 4th. I'm going to let my colleagues speak a ton to that in a moment. But we also will have our Houston conference returning in April of 2024. And there's actually like really major other big changes coming that you all will be the first to know about. And we can't wait to tell you more. So now I'm going to hand it over to one of my newest colleagues who is planning what is going to be the best dang conference we've ever had. Monica, take it away.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. Let's give another hand to Miss Amy Kane. I adore her deeply. But as we can see, Radiant G Conference is back. I would love to see some purple hearts in the chat if you're familiar with our conferences from the past and if you're looking forward to this one. So we can speak a little bit more to what Radiant G Conference is here on the next slide for those of us who might be joining us that are newer to our gang of girls and have not heard about conference before. But essentially, the conferences that you knew all as the We Are Girls conferences are back and reimagined as the Radiant G Conference. These will continue to be statewide and multi-city events designed specifically for thousands of girls in grades 3 through 8 and the people who care about them, which is a change from the adults who care about them, because we want to always create space for anyone who is an ally for girls, whether that be their siblings, their caretakers, their teachers, anyone who cares deeply about them, we always will have an open door for. So as always, we'll start with an opening rally, dance party, and have breakout sessions by some of the most treasured people in Austin, Texas. I'm so looking forward to having them in community with us. And we are absolutely thrilled to be back and in this space. So girls are going to be able to walk away inspired by what's possible with a new belief in their personal power. Our theme this year for 23-24 will be lighting the way to empowerment, because as we take on that Radiant G moniker, we are fully leaning into that shine, that brilliance, and that radiance. So I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about our details that we have for this year's Austin conference. So this is all the who, what, and where that we need to know about conference. So we have the date set for November 4th, 2023. It's a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The doors will open at 8 a.m. for all of our lovely early birds and also anyone who would like to see our resource fair. It'll be at Keeling Middle School. It is one of the most historic middle schools in East Austin, and we are so happy to be able to partner with Keeling. All of our partners and administrators there have been so kind and have been just wonderful collaborative partners. We again welcome girls in grades 3 through 8. And again, as we've reiterated before and will continue to stand by, we are always open to trans girls, non-binary youth, and other gender expansive youth. Our door is always open to them. We want to celebrate them just as much. And are once again rallying the troops to make sure that we get enough large groups in and individuals. So tickets are still on sale right now. They will be on sale until November 1st. They are $50 per person, but we do have plenty of scholarships available for individuals and large groups, which would be all of our wonderful people from Girl Scout troops, schools, other nonprofits. We will have all of these wonderful things included in admission, like lunch, snack, a swag bag, amazing different featured conference speakers, workshops, the resource fair, the carnival, and just all the joy and fun that goes into it. It's been such an honor to be able to work with the people that you see on the right of the screen. Wendy Davis will be joining us as our honorary chair, which is honestly like, it's a fangirl moment for me. That is my local celebrity, okay? I have such admiration for her, and I'm deeply, deeply honored for her to be able to join us as our honorary chair on November 4th. Also, our featured speakers who we will be highlighting and spotlighting and cherishing to the ends of the earth. We have Mayra Guillen, who will be speaking during session 1. She is the president and founder of the I Am Vanessa Guillen Foundation. She is Vanessa Guillen's sister, and she does a lot of advocacy work in the name of her sister since 2020. Iskra Lawrence is a model and founder of Solitaire and Self-Funding Planner. She's an incredible force to be reckoned with. I heard yesterday that she was meeting Selena Gomez at the Rare Beauty Gala. She's just absolutely over, like all around the world, all the time, just an incredible speaker, such a kind presence. I'm going to be so excited to be able to introduce these people to all of our girls and youth who attend conference, and I really hope that you find your way there as well. I know a lot of people in this room will be featured on our next slide, and we'd like to give a very special thank you to our conference sponsors, because as we've said, like none of this is possible without you and without all of the support that you give us. So I'm so grateful for everyone that's on the slide, particularly HEB. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who is going to continue to give in all of the different ways, all of the bracelets that everyone's been making, all of the bookmarks. And of course, as we've mentioned before, if you're interested in sponsoring, if you'd like to know more about the ways that you can be involved, you can reach out to Chelsea at girlsempowermentnetwork.org. And of course, you can always engage in the ways that we have over on our next slide. We always want to support the path to empowerment as we light it this year. And we have here like our 3 foremost ways that you can engage with the conference. You can buy a ticket for a girl in your life, whether that be a child, a mentee that you have, someone who you care for deeply, that you're like, you know what, they would really benefit from this experience. Again, tickets are on sale. And of course, as some of our most cherished individuals in our network, I will give you the little heads up that we'll have a flash sale next week for International Day of the Girl. So that's October 11th. We'll have a wonderful little discounted ticket. So if you're looking forward to buying your ticket, you can always do it then. We also have just launched our peer-to-peer that went live yesterday. So over in the green little bubble, you can see the link to be able to fundraise for our peer-to-peer. You can give directly to that link, or you can create your own fundraiser if you know anyone in your network who would be interested in giving, or if you just really want to champion for girls, I highly encourage you to do so. I've already launched mine on my Instagram. And one of the last things that we have, if you are someone who really prefers to give in kind and is just like someone who's like really into all of the fine details, we have an Amazon wish list over in our purple QR code where you can see all of the different things that we're asking for Radiant G Conference, like tulle to make tutus and all of the wonderful things that'll make this a reality. You can say like, oh, I want to give that instead. I want to be able to know, you know, that all of these things are making their way to girls and that we'll make great use of them. So those are all of the ways that we have to engage with the organization and for conference specifically. And I'm really hoping that you'll be able to join us on November 4th. I hope to see you all there. I'll pass it back to Chelsea so that she can round out our evening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me place the spotlight. Okay, great. So as we were doing our icebreaker and everyone was talking about their like favorite dinners, I private messaged all the speakers and was like, hey, how do we shave like 5 to 10 minutes off this evening so everybody can go make those dinner dreams come true? And they did it. They got through our information so quick. So I just want to round us out. I want to say thank you so much again for tuning in on a weekday evening and spending time with us and celebrating these incredible successes. As promised, we always do some raffle prizes. So as our incredible presenters were sharing information with you, I was randomizing our participants. And if I can get a slight drum roll wherever you are, our 2 raffle prize winners were Greg M. and Natalie Rowland. So if y'all are still tuned in, please private message me your email and I will reach out to you to get your address so we can get you your incredible raffle prizes. So again, shout out to Greg M. and Natalie Rowland. If you are still on the call, please email me your, send me your email address so I can reach out and get you those incredible raffle prizes. We want you out in the world in your Girls Empowerment Network gear. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time before we log off just shouting out our Girl Advocacy League. Again, as some of you know, this event tonight is hosted annually by our Giving Circle, the Girl Advocacy League. If you are a member, will you drop a heart in the chat for me so we can see that representation tonight? And so we can just love on y'all. Our Girl Advocacy League is made up of members who donate to Girls Empowerment Network $10 a month or $100 a year. And not only do they share, their financials with us and give to us of their treasure, but these are the folks who are peer-to-peer fundraising with us, who make up those volunteer hours and those volunteer numbers. They're the ones resharing posts and getting the word out and being our biggest advocates. I am just so grateful for our gal members. Thank you so much. If you are interested in becoming a gal member, I'm going to copy this link here and place it in the chat. We would love to have you join the team. We have got a group in Central Texas and a group in Austin represented in these photos here. And we try to host monthly events because we want our gal members to find community and empowerment amongst one another. So it's really cool. Not only does joining help the Girls Empowerment Network and further our mission, but you also gain access to an incredible community and to incredibly empowering events for yourself. So even just next month, our Central Texas gal will have a gal volunteer night at the Girls Empowerment Network office, and our Houston team will have an event coming up in December. So we do really hope that you'll join us. Lastly, I just want to say there are so many ways to be involved with Girls Empowerment Network. Again, we have folks who are donating of their time, their talent, their treasure, and we really value every single way. If you scan this QR code, it's just going to take you to our website where you can sign up for our newsletter, where you can become a gal member, where you can donate, follow us on social media, so many different ways. So we really do hope that you will become involved if you are new to the network. We hope you will stay involved if you are a current supporter. And we just want to say thank you one last time for helping make these successes of our last fiscal year a possibility. We are just celebrating with you all and celebrating you all for helping make all of this possible. So thank you so much for tuning in. Greg, Natalie, please message me your emails. And thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we are logging off tonight, I hope that you will write one word in the chat that describes how you hope girls feel this new school year. So as you are leaving, can you leave one word that describes how you hope girls will feel this school year? Are you hoping they feel bold, brave, optimistic? I'm seeing confident, powerful, empowered, inspired, fierce, seen and supported. I believe that we are manifesting this for all of our girls. Thank you so much for putting that out. That is the world we are also trying to create. And thank you for creating that with us. Once again, thank you for spending your evening with us. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and you'll continue hearing from us. Thank you so much, everybody.